Good afternoon.
How y'all doing out there?
Welcome to another excellent workshop with Life on Purpose LLC.
Yay! We're back again with another workshop to help others take care of themselves much better than many of us do these days, huh?
Well, you know, your famous line is let's get this thing called life together. So that's
Together.
what we're doing today.
Together.
Yes. We are going to be talking about self-care and self-love. And we have a special guest coming on as well, which will be on in just a few. But until we get to our special guest, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about self-care. We're going to formally introduce ourselves. Hopefully you can see this on your screen.
Mhm.
So just to introduce the team, my name is Tangela Morris, licensed professional counselor.
And I am Tiffany DeWalt, certified Christian life coach.
Yes. And how long you been in this business? Well, I
Oh,
say business, but in this ministry, you know?
what's this, 2024? So about 8, 9 years now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you have, according to this, you have 17, probably more than that by now. Years
Oh,
of
yeah.
community outreach, just
Oh,
being a helper for people in general. So
well,
that's
that's different.
amazing.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that needs to be updated. We're in 19 years now with that.
Okay. We got to make some updates to our website, but we are glad to greet you guys. We are so glad that you guys joined us on this virtual workshop via YouTube and our live chat where we get a chance to communicate with you guys. We want you guys to sit back, learn something, engage with us. Hey, get your pen and your paper out, get your notebook paper out, and be willing to be open for us to share and get some feedback from us because we are always willing and able to help somebody else.
That's for sure. Always.
Okay, we're going to start with a little icebreaker
Mm.
in the interest of self-care, starting with you. What is one thing you did this week for self-care that does not include doing your hair, your nails, or going to the spa?
Mm. Eat right. Eating right. And man, I got blessed yesterday. I was able to go to this place. They give out food every month, and sometimes I show up just to get the free food because of grocery prices. And this week, as of yesterday rather, they gave away like 7 bags of fish, and they gave away cans of spinach, and we had squash and some cabbage and just, healthy food. And for me, I like to try to embrace things to make, I just want to see the best me that God created, like applying the best
I
in
like
myself.
that. The best me that God created. Like you just
Mhm.
said something right there.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, and I know it said not to mention hair, but I got curly hair, and naturally, in any kind of humidity, it wants to curl up. And so for years, I remember as a kid, we started out with perming our hair, and then eventually we want to go natural. So we're flat ironing our hair, and it, of course, takes heat damage and all that. But my hair would frizz up so bad. And
Mm.
so I got to a point, it's been maybe 2.5 years. I was like, just cut it off and just give me a style that I would enjoy, that I would love. But I want my hair to be the way God created it to be.
Hmm.
I wanted to embrace
Beautiful.
my natural curls,
And you be rocking it now. Like you want to turn to the side so the audience can see what you're rocking. Okay, look at you.
Don't make
Okay.
me blush on here. But yeah, so that was just an example of ways that I'm embracing who I am as a person naturally.
Okay, so eating right and embracing who God created you to be in
There
his
you go.
image. I love that. I love that. I thought about, that idea of God creating us in his image and sometimes we unknowingly and or unintentionally reject the things that he's created us to be.
Hmm. Oh, there is
So,
so much of that today. so much of that. Just all the new technology, all of the new skills and surgeries and things of that nature. If you don't like the way God created you, you just nip and tuck and cut and twist and turn and remove or add and adding and
Okay.
subtracting all
Subtracting.
kinds
Yeah. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of changes that people have to. I mean, people dye their hair, people, add hair, and just a lot of different ways that people don't necessarily embrace the way that they are. And I wouldn't even call it enhancing because they literally change it.
Mm-hmm.
They literally change it. Skin colors and nose shapes, eye shapes, cheekbones, chisel it off, tighten it up, pull it. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that aren't quite embracing the natural state of who they are.
Yeah, and that's something I don't want to get too far into the topic
Hmm.
without losing, our icebreaker. But
Hmm.
also, I will say that on the other hand, there was a scripture that I was reading, and I know this is not Bible study, but we love to bring the Lord into our
Of course.
discussions. But there was a scripture I was reading in Ezekiel, and it was talking about how God does want to adorn us in some ways.
Hmm.
He does, and I was like kind of floored because we don't really talk about that, but he does want us to do our hair and he does want us to look good and dress nice, but he kind of wants to take that a little bit over sometimes,
Hmm.
and help us to be encouraged by what is good and what is wholesome. He doesn't want us to look uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah, so I love that. So we have to think about that, like in self-care, like there is a part of God is not rejecting us in our natural beauty, and we can have some beauty enhancements, but it doesn't have to be improper beauty enhancements,
Absolutely.
things that hurt us
Absolutely.
later or things that are not healthy for our bodies.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't go through the recovery process of it all, not on purpose.
yeah.
I don't want to feel that the soreness, the achiness, the tingling, and all of that stuff. I just love being comfortable who I with who I am.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the chat, if you can name one thing you did this week for self-care, we'd love to hear your feedback. And maybe somebody who can read what you wrote will be able to get some ideas. As for me, one thing that I did for self-care this week is I got some sleep.
Mm. I, that was on my radar to use as well, but I decided not to because I think everybody's going to put sleep in the chat if they could.
Mm-hmm. If you
Some
coming
people
from a
couldn't get
place
some.
that don't always sleep well or your brain is
Yeah,
always in forward motion, like apparently, according to my husband, I was snoring. I don't believe him. But if I was snoring, that means I was sleep.
sleep, sleep. Oh yeah, that
And
that
that's not
sleep you
often for me.
that's that sleep you didn't even know you were asleep.
And didn't even know you need it. So
Yeah.
that and even though I said one thing that I did for self-care, I do like to read. So I've been reading this week. And trying to read without distractions because I can get easily distracted as well. And I like what you mentioned about eating healthy too, because I've been revisiting some healthier options for food. And I lost 2 pounds, girl, just by choosing. And one of the things that I did was I stopped eating after a certain hour,
Hmm.
which I know is very helpful. So my stomach has time to digest everything that I ate all day.
Hmm.
So instead of just stuffing, stuffing,
See,
stuffing.
see, I like that too because what you're describing to me is taking control of the care that you
Mm-hmm.
have for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably one of the hardest things that we have is self-control. But I
Mm-hmm.
believe that self-control is the first priority when it comes to self-care because you can easily fall off. If your
Mm-hmm.
self-care might be eating right, it's not hard for you, as a matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
once you make the decision that like 15 people invite you to the party or dinner, let's go out. And
Mm-hmm.
when you go out, the food that's going to be available to you is not on the list of your self-care foods.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard, but we have to make a decision to, you set a time, you said this is it. And
Mm-hmm.
you literally have to go into your mental state and say, that's it.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So please, 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 remember more than anything that your self care is your priority. And so as we journey into self-care, we can get a little bit into the topic of discussion. I just wanted to hear from you, and then I'll share my feedback as well. Like, what do you feel like what is self-care? How would you describe self-care?
Self-care is self-love. I think that learning to love yourself is the best route, because we can't love others if we don't love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We are a direct reflection of who we are in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what's going on in the inner usually comes on the outer. And so, what you want to see on the outer is what you feel on the inside. And then sometimes what you're feeling on the inside, you don't want it on the outer. you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, I see that people don't tend to want to represent themselves or
Mm.
present themselves well. We're in
Mm-hmm.
an era where people wear house shoes and their Simpsons pajamas to the store
I
with their
saw
bond.
yeah, I saw a person. She had her whole. I mean, I think she jumped out the shower and came to the store. I was like, "What is going
She
on? Are
had the
we there?"
towel on still.
I think she might as well. And then she had the slippers, but not. And people wear like slides and stuff like that. But she
Right,
had on
right,
some
right.
true, authentic house shoes. Like they were
Yes.
thin at the bottom.
Yes, sliding and trying to keep them on her feet while she's walking. And like I said, the pajamas, the bonnets and things of that nature. Now I remember old school mamas used to come up to the school with their hair rollers in their hair and tied down with a net, and their kimono, what is it called, the gown on. You done made me come up here to this school and act a fool on these people.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
mama, you came up here looking a fool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
But
they had a purpose. It wasn't just so let me, so I can,
mhm.
because I didn't feel like it. It wasn't coming from a place of I just didn't feel like taking care of
Oh
myself.
yeah, because these are the same mamas that used to put that Vaseline on your edges and give you some baby hair and got in your pretty doll ponytails and your pretty
Mm-hmm.
doll baby dresses and the doll with the Bobby socks and your pretty
Mm-hmm.
Mary Jane shoes. Because these same mamas will have your hair laid and looking just as cute as you can be on Easter, on Sunday morning, and so on. So they were very into their looks, but they just was not willing to let go of those curls just because they got to go up to this school and you didn't
Because
act
you
up.
needed it for Sunday. You needed them curls for Sunday morning. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
You needed your curls to be fresh when you walked into church service that morning.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that, when we talk about self-care, I think that there is the men and then there's the women's version of
Mm-hmm.
self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I have the great opportunity to witness my husband in self-care. Now it takes him a lot longer to groom himself because I've seen where he will go and shave his head and clean his beard. He doesn't just comb his beard. He washes it and conditions it and oils it and does all of these facial things that,
Oh
most
yeah,
men
the
don't
men
seem like
stepping
they
up.
do.
The
Yeah.
men stepping up. Yeah, they want to look good. They want to smell good. They want to feel good.
Hmm.
I even noticed that some men are wearing lotion. I'm sorry, brothers,
Them
if you
ashy
all
men, yeah.
there,
Yeah, y'all
because
used to be
well,
ashy
well,
Larry.
it was the unseen parts. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If you had on socks that covered your ankles and you rolled them socks down, them
Oh.
ankles was not lotion, but anything that was seen was lotion. So the purpose of lotion was for the seen and not
The
the
scene.
unseen.
Yeah, but they want soft skin now, and
Mm-hmm.
they want their hair and their chins, the beard to be shiny and sparkly, and
Mm-hmm.
they even got Beijing now where when they do their lineups, they can darken in the little line so it
See,
cover up the cowlicks and
you
stuff.
better get that right. You better get that right pillowcase because your Beijing will be beige off.
Hmm.
There we go.
Now you sharing products, all of your hygiene products and things. You're sharing it with the guys now. Look, guys,
Mm-hmm.
y'all have a whole section at not Bed Bath. What is it? Bath and Body Works. Y'all have your own section now. Y'all don't have
Exactly. Exactly.
to.
So let me intervene real quick because I know in about 5 minutes or so we're gonna have our guest workshop presenter.
Mhm.
Her name is Nikki V, aka Sunshine. And
Nikki,
yeah, we'll have her
hey
coming on,
girl.
and I wanted to share, the book that we'll be sharing is called Remember to Lie. starting your self-love journey, and it's okay to love yourself enough. And we'll talk about this a little bit as we get ready to present to her, and I mean have her present rather.
Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about the title too, because I know some
Yes,
people
I was
are
gonna
like,
say you
remember the
better say
lie,
something now.
you
Remember to
know, that kind of
lie.
thing. So we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But
There's a
let me just
purpose.
let me just share, what my idea of self-love is. I always tell my clients, and this is the reason why the icebreaker said don't talk about your hair, don't talk about your nails, because self-care starts with how you take care of the inner part of yourself. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can go get your hair and your nails done and be cute, but you over here crying and you over here just about to fall apart. You cute on the
Hair and
outside, but on the inside, you have not taken care of yourself. You have not tended to your inner self. You haven't gotten enough sleep. You haven't gotten enough to eat. You haven't prayed. You haven't, done any other things that were supportive for you.
decompress
You haven't
sometime.
decompressed. You haven't, listened to something positive. You feeding your ears with negative things. You
But
had done. Mhm.
not to mention that hair and nails and make all of that stuff is just a cover up. It covers our flaws. It makes us look like we got it going on. It makes us look like we got ourselves together,
Mhm.
just and that's
Mhm.
one thing we know is and we are all grateful to God that he wakes us up every morning. But at the same time, now how we present ourselves to the world, we can either be covering up something
Mhm.
or we can be enhancing something that we've already had.
That we've already had. Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely. 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 So, um, regarding self care, not self love, regarding self care in particular, I know we did the icebreaker, but I want to know, like, what do you feel like you might need to improve on when it comes to self care?
Improvement. Well, my biggest improvement was exercise. You know, I say this in every workshop. As a massage therapist, I don't move a lot. I wasn't moving a lot. And I also noticed that I was on the heavier side. I would gain more weight around my core area because I didn't move a lot. Now, since that practice has started dwindling and I became more of a stay-at-home mom and doing more of our outreach and music and so on and so forth, I'm starting to see my body slim down. And I was sitting there like one day I was vacuuming and I was like, housework is the biggest exercise that you can get. You really do not need a gym. If you gotta you can do squats, you can do
Especially when you turn some workout music on while you cleaning up. Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
you about to get it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And so I've noticed that I started slimming down, and this was without effort. It was just literally a change of life. Now that I'm moving a lot more, moving my feet, doing, yeah, I call myself a mover and a shaker now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Movement is
just,
so important. We may not be able to get to the
mm-hmm,
gym, and gym may not be for us, but movement is extremely important. Extreme.
mm-hmm,
Don't be a sitting duck.
yeah,
Move, especially if you work from home like me. I could easily sit for 2 or 3 hours, but
sitting.
I'm gonna get up
Two
and
or three, there's
clean
people that's just sitting there
all
eating,
day,
watching
all day.
YouTube videos, because I know I'm capable of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm capable of ending up sitting there, and I'll get up only when I have to, and that's usually for somebody else's needs, and it means that I'm not tending to my own is to sit here and watch television all day long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you get frustrated when people need you, when people start requesting you to do things. And so, what?
Want to sit
That's how
all
you
day.
feel. What?
Yeah,
Yep, because I
yeah.
want to sit here. That's that
But it's
frustration.
painful. You know what? Two things. If you sit too
Mhm.
much, it's painful. And if you move too much, it's painful. You got to find a healthy balance.
That was the majority of my clients were IT workers. They sit at a computer and literally look straight ahead all day long, not to the left, not to the right. They don't lean their heads back. They literally look straight ahead all day long. And I could tell them it was a new client, didn't have to tell me their profession. I could say, you work on computers all day. How did you know? Well, you got computer neck. I can tell the muscles that are getting affected. We have neck pain, shoulder pain,
Well,
you
how do
know.
you overcome that? I know massage therapy is helpful in chiropractic work, but what do you need to do to, like, on your day to day to help with that? because people
Well,
have to work at their computers.
they have to work at their computers, and they got to work out at their computers. They got to stand up sometime. I mean, the majority of people, they're not on a Zoom all the time. They're on a phone.
They now have
Stand up.
those raised desks, so
Mm-hmm.
you can get in a raised desk.
You can use a raised desk to stand up, but that just makes you stand there. I mean, you can literally do squats, you can do
Now they have
lunges,
those
you can
walking
do
pads. They have those
mm-hmm,
walking pads.
those pedals. I think we got one a few years back. It's a sitting bike pedal, so you can pedal a bike. There's the treadmill, the portable treadmill that you can slide under your desk, and then between calls or on a break, your 15-minute break, pull it out, hit the treadmill for 5 minutes. You don't have to do 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the treadmill. Do 5 minutes, get the blood flowing, get your day, push. That's like how you push through your day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you make it a priority. This is what I have to do. And to me, I don't necessarily have a vision for the results at the end. Some people have goals. I want to look like this, I want to be like this, I want to feel like that, or whatnot. For me, I'm just literally, I'm doing what's right for my body, I'm doing what's right for my mind, where the Bible says to think on good things. Basically is broken down in there. But to think on good things, do good things, find opportunities to help others, love others, give to others, whatever it is, find an opportunity, because that helps us as well.
Well, people don't know how to prioritize themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
put everybody else before them.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, and then our guest, she's in a waiting room, so we'll let her in. But
Ooh.
I say people don't know how to prioritize themselves because it sounds selfish,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to learn how to prioritize yourself. So even if
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of you having a relationship with God, you prioritize yourself by taking time out for reading the word and things like that. But you
Mm-hmm.
also prioritize yourself, like it's not first, second, or third priority.
Mm-hmm.
It's if I got kids and I got a family,
A
I
life
gotta eat
change.
too. I gotta
A
eat too.
life.
I can't feed them and then then
Mm-hmm.
I don't feed myself, that kind of
Right.
thing. So
Now we do get it. Sometimes the mamas are, feed the family and not themselves. They don't get, like, the family might have a wholesome meal and mom might just have a snack or snacked on the food that
that's
she
not
cooked.
okay. That is not okay. Prioritize yourself. Now I'm not saying eat before the kids or anything like that. Just eat with them. Sit
Yeah,
with them. You're just as important.
that's right.
Don't put yourself behind and you never think about yourself, that you're falling apart because you're trying to keep everybody else together.
And don't
That
think that you're for everybody else. They're there for you as well.
mhm.
They're there for you. Not mean they're like physically there, or meaning financially there for you. When I mean there, I mean their presence. God has put them
Mhm.
in your life for a reason. So find a way to enjoy hanging with that person based off of the gifts and the talents that you both share, and build relationships and stuff like that. That's part of your self-care.
Exactly, exactly. Well, our guest, I don't know, maybe she's having some technical difficulties. She hopped on and then it just kind of hopped her back off. And hopefully she'll jump on. I'm gonna go ahead and read her bio. That way, by the time she get on, we can go ahead and have our conversation.
Alrighty.
All right. So Miss Nikki Richards, also known as Miss Sunshine, and
Woo.
let me pull up um her
I've been
website
wanting to say her
so
name
you
like
guys can.
Prince song. Nikki.
Oh Lord, that you went way back. You went way back. There she go. There she goes. Says, "Welcome. I'm Sunshine, founder of Love Yourself Enough, where it's okay to always lie." Okay. I'm on a mission to empower, encourage, and educate everyone to love themselves more through motivational tools, events. Okay, so let me read her bio. With more than 10 years of public relations and marketing experience in a variety of industries, Nikki Richards has a strong yet diverse background in media outreach, general marketing practices, copywriting, investor relations, event management, and life, as well as business coaching. Nikki has had an exceptional array of clientele, including IHOP and
Mm.
popular hotel restaurants. So, Nikki has also successfully developed and executed highly publicized restaurant openings, spearheaded marketing communication projects, written and published and opt and advertorial content, taken part in trade show planning and participation, and initiated successful social and online marketing campaigns. Okay, this is really good. I'm
Okay.
sorry, y'all, I'm reading really fast. Decorated with achievements as a business communication consultant and speaker, she takes pride in her newest venture, which we just mentioned, Always Lie, a movement to help everyone start and maintain their self-love and self-care journey from both a business and personal perspective. So Nikki graduated from both California State University, Monterey Bay, and California State University, Northridge. Nikki holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Public Relations and a Master's of an MBA degree. Nikki states that her proudest achievement to date is being a mommy and mentor to countless people. So that's amazing. That's amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's see. Let's look back and see if she has popped on yet. She hasn't, but as she's saying she's having a couple of technical difficulties switching computers. But as we get ready to meet her in just a minute, tell me what you think about self-love.
Self-love. I love myself. I love myself. Self-love. I think
now wait a minute, because there's a part that they say I love my sexy self. Was you getting ready to say that?
I wasn't, and you just went ahead and told everybody I love my sexy self, but I love my sexy self. All right.
Wait, not the hand, right? Hey. Hey.
Yes, I do love myself. And when I say love, I believe love is an action. Love is an action. And to love myself, I believe that I do the things that I need to do. I provide myself with the tools that I need to have, and then put into action these tools and doing for myself to enhance, it could be education. You see, Nikki got a long list on her resume of things that she's done educationally that has brought her to where she is today and where she's going. So providing yourself the proper education and the proper tools is love. Give yourself what you need in order to thrive as the natural human being that you are, with the natural gifts that you already have. Give yourself the tools. When I say give, it could be anything. It could be, something you purchase at a store. I don't know what you might get, but I mean, it's something, books like we have with Miss Nikki. You can, like I said, education, take some classes, some courses, get some certifications, learn more. I teach my daughter to learn something new every single day. So pour into yourself. I believe that's what self-love is. Hey.
Hello.
We can't hear you. No, and I don't see mute. Oh, there was mute.
Is it still connecting to audio? Let's see. No.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
We have contact. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Nikki Richards, aka Sunshine. Yeah. Y'all see that big beautiful smile? Don't she look like
yes,
she loves herself?
She does. That's the sunshine.
There you go. There you go.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, it's so
welcome. It's good.
It is so good to see you.
How are you?
Listen, honey, I'm gonna try to tell you. I apologize because
you ain't got
technology
okay.
was just being silly. I was like,
oh, technology was technologically.
Listen.
we held down the fort. Let me just speed you up. We did go ahead and read your bio because we knew that once you hopped on, we was gonna get to the questions, girl. And so yes, and let me just do another brief introduction, you guys. I want to show you her book. Yeah. Help y'all see this. Remember to Lie. Starting your self-love journey. And we already gonna ask you about that lie word. I know that's the number one question.
That's the number one question that I get all the time. I love it.
The time.
The merch is coming too. So this is actually, this is because it wasn't ready yet. Otherwise I would have had it. But yes, it's okay to lie.
That's wait a minute, girl. We got your website that we showing too.
Oh,
so, yeah. We got all
She
kind of
ready?
technology up in here.
You ready?
Look at
my. Hey girl.
Yeah,
Hey.
so that's alwayslie.com. LYE, alwayslie.com.
Always
That's
That's how you
right.
guys can get in touch
I
with
love
her.
it.
So.
I love you guys.
Good.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah. So look, we told all about you, but if you can briefly just explain who you are,
Of course.
where you're from, whatever, what you ate today, we don't care. Just let us know who you know, how you're doing, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll get into our questions.
Of course. Well, first and foremost, hello everyone. Blessings to you all. I am Nikki Richards. Let me see what I am because I'm a lot of things. Okay. But I will say that people also call me Sunshine. Sunshine, I go by Sweetness, but I'll go by Mommy. So I will say that I am a business consultant. I've been doing this for probably about 20 some years now. Okay. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm proud. Because I started
early.
I started early. I did get my master's, of course, in business administration from Cal State, Monterey Bay. I am a Cali girl, okay?
Hey, she's a Cali girl.
Listen here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna always have my hoop. That's my thing. I'm a hoop girl. So yes, even with the education, with the experience, I can only be me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's actually part of doing self-care and self-love is being who you are unapologetically all the time. So
yeah,
that's very important.
Here you go.
And she forgot to mention that she does co-host a podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's gonna get me.
It's okay.
I also
I got your back, girl.
Listen, I wear a lot of hats. I co-host with the phenomenal DJ Preach. Would You Date You podcast, okay? And that's every Thursday, of course, on the YouTube channel for Live Show TV, every Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, because we are coast to coast, all right? I'm very grateful for that.
All right. Oh,
so, yes.
Oh, that Would You Date You. Oh,
that's it. And we have to have you ladies back on because, you know, a lot of people were like, when are you going to have... They were giving perspective. So yes, I'm very grateful. We've been talking about it. Okay. I have to talk to you guys after this interview. So yes, you ladies, just let
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Tiffany, would you like to jump in on the interview questions? And do you have
interview questions? Okay.
Ooh, the hot seat.
The hot seat.
The biggest question, because we came to this about self-love. There was this big idea, something that God put down in your spirit, and you knew the world needed to love, that people had to learn how to love themselves. Correct. So can you explain to us, what is self-love?
Of course. I'm very big on this because I love I'm trying to not get into too ahead of myself. Self-love is pretty much putting your own needs first, okay? I always say that some people, I'm trying not to jump ahead with the selfishness, but when you're self-love and when you're giving yourself self-love and self-care, it's making sure that you have a healthy state of being. I think that a lot of people get it kind of twisted because, you know, they think that self-love is, of course, being selfish. We're going to get into that, I'm sure, later. But for right now, yeah, making sure that you're okay. You. Yes. Ooh, and I'm going to emphasize that because as a parent, right, a lot of times and I am guilty of this since I have my daughter, I put her before me. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that when people get it misconstrued, is self-love is what it is. You have to give yourself that. If we don't, we can't really love others the way that they deserve to be loved. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about one way of self-care is eating right.
Yes.
And so absolutely. I'm thinking, you know, when we eat right, that contributes to our health, because if you're sick,
that's it.
Even if you are going to put other people first, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Absolutely not. And I always go, especially when I'm speaking about this, I'm so passionate about it, you guys. So forgive me because I start.
Oh, that's why we got you here, girl.
Put it out there. One thing about it is, you know, people always use the example, of course, as the airplane. You know, when you go and you're in flight, and of course the flight attendant goes in the front. And she's always talking about, or he, you know, place the mask on yourself first, and then you're able to help someone else. That's the same thing I feel about self-love. You have to love yourself enough first before you can love someone, whether it's a significant other, whether it's your children, whether it's your parents. You have to do that in order to cultivate those healthy relationships. And that's just how I feel.
That analogy just reminded me, it was kind of like you saying you have to breathe first before you can help somebody else.
Absolutely. And I was going to get into that because breathing is actually a part of self-care. You have to take those breaths and breathe, because if you don't stop to breathe, you're like this. And you don't want to be all over the place with anxiety, with, it can mess too much with not only your psyche, but the rest of your body, just like you mentioned about healthy eating. That's something that I also have started doing, and I have lost quite a bit. People have seen it, and I'm going to get that when you're ready. I'm trying to answer.
That's amazing.
I have a tendency to go all the way around.
It's okay. We're prepared. We're prepared.
just eliminating questions. That's all.
It's a discussion. You got to remember it's a discussion. So if we venture into another question, and we're not so rigid and constricted that you can't.
I love it, because one thing about me, I am transparent and very open. And so when you mention, for example, about the healthy eating, that was something. My last relationship, I always share this, it was tumultuous. Unfortunately, I did not feel love. I was depressed. And I ballooned to the heaviest weight of my life. Didn't even realize it until I went to the doctor. And I have since already lost more than 100 pounds. Once I let him go and I let that baggage go, that weight went as well.
Well, how many pounds did he weigh? Because we're going to add his weight to that.
Come on now. Don't make me. Where's my fan? You guys know I'm good for my fan. Where's my fan?
Where is the fan?
And look, and while you trying to do stuff and step out and look in the way you look. Okay, anyway,
there we go.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Well, somebody need to hear that.
And you know what?
To let go a certain way.
Hello. And my thing is this: I tried a lot of things. I'm talking about. I was eating. It wasn't like I wasn't eating healthy. I was. Now, we also have cortisol. We have stressors that can lead to that. And I'm just being honest. When you're depressed, it doesn't matter what you try to do, you're going to fall by the wayside. When you're anxious, you're going to fall by the wayside. So that's why it's important. Once I said, let me go on ahead and let this here go, because I have to love myself enough. What am I doing with, how am I an example to the children? How am I, because I started thinking about all of that.
Yeah.
I have always been an example, not just for my babies, but for also, cousins, loved ones. And I'm like, wow, an example for myself.
That's special.
That's
we have some of the biggest celebrities in the world that swear they're not role models or anything like whatever.
That part.
You may not be trying to be, but you are. And just like you said, that people look up to you. And you're an example. Yeah. And so you're expressing a great example of a person who loves himself. And I believe that when people see that, they'll remember. Remember what Nikki did. They'll remember what Nikki wrote.
Yes. And I actually had that. I forgot, I think it was one of the Unity tours. I can't remember. And I remember somebody actually coming up and saying, thank you. I was like, thank you. Oh, I saw you on, the message for, music and message with JS3. And I said, because, I have a tendency, of course, to be who I am. I shed some tears because it's something that I'm very, very, I'm knee deep in this, man. Y'all just don't know. This is what I motivate others. When people say I'm a motivational speaker, okay, well, that's nice. Right. But it's motivating me too, to keep going. When I'm talking to everybody else, I'm talking to me too.
Absolutely.
So that's very important.
And let me slide this in here real quick, because this audience is not our music audience.
Right.
This audience is our mental health audience. So they may not know what the Unity Tour is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Nope. No. You're okay. I want to make sure that they clarified that.
They might meet us at one of the.
They're probably thinking Unity Tour could be a whole bunch.
They're like, what you mean?
Yeah.
There's a Unity Tour. Are you guys having something?
Yeah. But Unity Tour, I mean, hence the word, but it's a musical tour that we all take part in and participate in.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity to release, stress and pressure, but also listen to some really good music. So
absolutely.
on some of our other platforms, we do provide support and promote the Unity Tour. So let us
That's
know
wonderful.
if you got any questions.
Shout out to JS3 from Jehovah's
Shout out.
Witnesses.
Shout
So
out.
I'm gonna get into this book. I don't know.
Please.
There we go.
man.
There we go. So I was looking throughout the book, you know, since we
Oh
picked it up. Yeah,
I'm trying to
we
get the
have-
light right.
I know these little
There.
backgrounds don't want us to be great.
No,
Yeah.
my goodness.
But you know, I was looking, and you know, I was thinking how great this is a workbook. This is
Yes.
a workbook, so it's interactive, you guys. You know, it's not just read a bunch of information. Not that that's anything wrong with that. Like Miss Sunshine is putting you out to work.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I'm holding you
I-
accountable.
I like the way you
Because-
said that too,
Yeah.
because this is work.
Yes, it is.
You gotta work.
Absolutely. And throughout this journey, you have to hold yourself accountable. That's why I did it, because a lot of us don't. And again, I had tried and tried and tried. I tried different ways to see what I can do to get myself out of that state of depression. What can I get myself to get out of that anxiety that I was feeling? Journaling, yeah, I started it, but then it went by again, fell by the wayside. So with this, I actually did it myself. It's like, okay, I am choosing to be happy today. Okay. All right. I am going to clean out my closet today. I am. Now, I started to clean out my closet, but then I didn't. Cleaning out your closet, getting decluttering, making sure that you're looking, not just, you know, within your, of course, your brain and your mental state. I'm talking about physical, making sure that you're not seeing a whole bunch of stuff everywhere, because that can bring on some triggers.
Yeah. If I see too much work to do, it'll just get pushed by, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's where procrastination comes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
That's good. Let's talk a little bit about this title.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about like how you got to the title of the book. Pull it up again. Pull it up again.
When I say remember to lie, first of all, lie. We were always taught not to LIE in life, right? That was the upbringing.
We from the South, we couldn't even say lie.
Shoot, lie was a bad word for us too, I guess, because I had connections with the South from my grandmother, and you know, your upbringing, you know, is all.
Ooh, you
so
said
for
lie.
me, oh no, don't say that word. That was a bad word. So remember to LYE, because I want people to understand that love yourself enough, loving yourself enough is always going to be important. That is detrimental to our health. And so that is why I put that. This is the first book, of course, in the It's Okay to Love Yourself Enough series. I have another book coming up. I'm going to have, of course, I'm already almost done with the journals. But this is the first. The second one is going to be tailored more so to us women, because as I mentioned to a lot of individuals with this book right here is a start. It's to give you those tips and those tidbits to try to help you to get some kind of a foundation going for your success, for your, you know, self-love journey, as well as self-care. So that's where this came from. Remember to lie, because that's the one that everyone always says, well, why remember? Because you need to put yourself at the forefront a lot more than what you're doing now. And I know I could speak for quite a few that I have met that they already stated that they will be watching this. I want you to always remember to lie. I want you to always remember to love yourself enough. I want you to always remember to not only put your best foot forward with your work, but you have to love yourself enough to, while you're doing that. Don't put yourself down, because in all the pressures and stressors of life, we, especially good individuals like ourselves who work hard, have a strong work ethic, you know, we're like, okay, look, we can do this. People want to think of us as superheroes, right? And I always say, some people say, well, you're a superwoman. No, I'm not. Don't put that pressure on me. I'm not a superwoman. I don't wear a cape. If I could, I wouldn't be working.
Okay. Now look, you know, we know that we have our organization called Ladies in Full Effect.
Yes,
and
yes.
we like to express to people that we are not a membership-based organization. That if you are a lady and you're in full effect, you are a lady.
That's it.
In full effect. And so
that's it.
But you hit something. You said that your next book is going to be geared towards women more so. So I'm going to come back to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And ask questions about how the men are responding to this, because I know a lot of times when it's us and we're talking about caring and all of this kind of stuff, that people think that we're talking to only women, but this sounds like it's something really good for our men as well.
Absolutely. And that's why, because at first there was the misconception that this book was just for women. And I understand why some people can say that, because maybe the cover, it's peaceful because, you know, the individual is doing yoga. However, I have had men to pick up this book. I have had young men now. You know, parents have purchased this for their teenagers, which I love because it's speaking to men, women, boys, and girls. We still, even you have to teach them young. They don't know how to love themselves enough. And how can they when everything is filtered, when everything is fake that they're seeing for the majority of the time?
I think at birth we're selfish, you know, from time of birth, it's about give me, give me, give me, give me, give me.
Exactly.
You know, we have to start weaning ourselves off of the gimme and start giving.
Exactly. And that's why that's part of what I placed in here. Giving to others can actually be a form of self-care. I do that all the time. My daughter has been doing that because she's been around mommy since she could first walk. I've always reached out to the homeless community. I've always made sure that, and it feels great to do that. And she actually has that in her spirit, and I love it. And it makes you feel
she a
good
future
about
ladies
yourself.
in full effect too. She she's a future ladies in full effect.
Oh, there you go.
She can't help it. It's in her blood.
It's in her blood. Honest. So so men, I have had a very good response from men so far.
And you know what?
And I'm happy about that, because they were like, well, you know, I mean, the self-care thing, you know what I'm saying? I can't just go ahead and get a spa. I'm like, well, hold on.
No.
Did you read the book?
No, sir.
First of all, you can also have a couples massage. That can be self-care for yourself and, you know, for your others, you know, for yourself.
Well, you know, I'm a therapist, mental health. And so I do see men in therapy, individual.
I love it.
And you guys, I'm amazed that I have men that come and say that I don't love myself and I need to learn how to love myself.
Yes.
And I don't prioritize myself.
Yes.
And then they cry, and then they laugh at themselves for crying because they didn't cry in front of me. But it ends up just being all joy, and they feel so much better. So I'm proud of our men, because
I am too.
You know, those they catching on and realizing,
I
like,
hope y'all catching this, man. We
are
proud of you
too.
I know it's a lot going on the internet about the men and the women are getting you. You guys are getting it. Would you date you? There's a lot of information there about what's going on. And but I don't think they hear it enough. I think they're getting a lot of negativity because that's what's getting views right now is the back and forth. But you know, to hear men out there, we're proud of you. We are. And we do need you and we do love you guys.
Sure
do. We want you to learn how to love yourselves. That doesn't mean that your black nail polish is going to change that. We don't necessarily care for it. I don't care for black nail polish and stuff, but that to me is a reflection of them learning to care for themselves or looking for the way. Well, this is how the women care for themselves. So maybe we can go to the spas and get our pedicures and manicures and things, and that will help us. But you know, when it comes to that, I think all of that is just sometimes it helps you get through some things. Right. But I think that when it comes to self-love, that some things have to literally change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I've seen where the men are coming out more. They're more receptive. First of all, I salute them and I applaud them. Because what they're doing is they're communicating more. Gone is the stigma of that men don't communicate. They do. We communicate differently as women, but they're stepping up even more with their communication. So I think that that's a step in the right direction as well. When they need help, they're not afraid to say it. Now they still get chastised, right? But they are still coming out more. And I certainly do appreciate that. Especially when I hear a man says, well, you know what? I had to get on the phone with my therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is wonderful, because I know where your mental health lies. I do. Yes. And I definitely salute to all of you men out there who are really taking those steps, and don't stop, because self-love, I only said the second one is geared to the women. I'm going to have more where it's just for the men, where it's just even for the Always Lie experience. The first one, of course, is going to be for everyone, all ages, but the second one, yeah, is going to be meant, and I'm going to have people to cater to that. Because I think that that's really important. I just didn't want this to just be about women. Some people were like, no, just make it about women, but I didn't want to on purpose, because that's not the purpose of this.
I'm happy about that, because I
Oh,
know that women have been, when I say self-care, women are graduating high school, graduating college, getting doctorates and other degrees. They have businesses, they're buying homes, they handling business. And some people see that they see the men as falling behind the women.
They do.
But remember, we had women's conferences left and right. There was all these different events. So I can understand why they would think first that this is for women.
Absolutely.
Because that's how all of this stuff has been catered to women for so long. But I can't wait to see what comes of our men.
I just thought of something too. I thought of something like, I know that self-love is like a self thing, but can you join with others on a self-love journey? Like, can couples pick this up together?
Yeah. Absolutely. I can utilize, I mean, I can say from my experience, even with Preach,
who is Preach? This audience doesn't know who Preach is. What's his government name, girl?
His government name is William.
William.
I can honestly say we've done some things, like, for example, I do check-ins, right? We have to check in with each other. And that's actually part of our relationship self-care, and loving on ourselves, making sure that we're okay. Because guess what? When he's going to work, I'm going to work. You know how it is. You're working. You deal with the kids, you're dealing with it. And by the end of the week, you're exhausted. It's like, okay, you have to still eat. You talk now, but you really are not really communicating. I want to know how you are as an individual. Are you okay? So a lot of times he'll just ask me, hey, are you good? And I'm like, yeah. If I'm not, I'm going to explain to him why. Has nothing to do with
That's definitely a man's way of checking in.
Oh, yeah.
You good?
You good?
I get about 5 texts a day from my husband. You good?
Yeah.
Yes. Same as I was 3 hours ago. I'm fine.
And I love it. I
absolutely
love it, because for the most part, I can honestly say for other relationships, I didn't have that. And I think that actually contributes to me not feeling as loved, within that relationship, because that's important. It's important to check in with one another. So self-love, yeah. I mean, there was one time last year when I was like, I don't know. And he just looked at me and he was like, okay, well, let's talk. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Why you don't know. And there were times where he said it, I don't know, babe. And I'm like, okay, well, let's have a conversation. And to me, that's also good. It's good for your self-love, and it's also good for your couple, being in a couple, in a relationship, loving relationship.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of my number one things that I teach couples is to do the check-ins regularly, regularly. Just ask each other. Now, I ask them 3 questions. I say, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Because that could be 2 different answers.
Yeah.
And is there anything you need from me?
Oh, yeah. I like that's a good one. Is there anything you need from me?
Husband, you need anything?
Yeah, I do that, but I don't. I need to do it a little more often. But I do do that.
Well, that's where you good means.
Yeah.
You need anything?
You need anything? But I'm glad you guys brought that up, like how to do that as a couple, to have self-care as a couple, because I'm looking at a page in the book where it says a few ways to lie. And a box says to pray.
Yes.
Another says stay away from toxic people.
Ooh,
and
Lord.
Another says to learn to enjoy solitude.
That's it.
And what else? Preserve positive thoughts, and even meditate or do yoga, protect your peace. These are things that couples can do together.
Absolutely.
They can actually go through.
You're going ahead, because this series. This series is going to tackle not just, that's why I said this is the beginning. This is the starting line, if you will. But it's going to have so many, because this goes beyond just who we are just as women, who we are just as men. This goes so far. The scope of loving yourself, it incorporates so many different aspects of life, so many different phases of life. Even as I'm looking at my own grandmother, that's why I've been going back and forth. As she's in rehab, she has dementia, but I'm asking her questions, right? She's a silver sneaker. She has her sassy ways, but I'm like, hey, grandma, hi, Mima, are you okay? And she'll say, well, yeah, baby, I'm okay. I said, okay, are you sure? Yeah, but you know what? This person's here. Well, let's talk about it. Why? Why do you feel that way? You know what I mean? And she'll say, well, I just can't do nothing right. Right. But her thing is because she's with that dementia, I can't do anything right. I don't know. I don't know what. I'm just so stupid. I'm frustrated. I can't do it. I can't remember. And I'm like, but that's okay. We have to get it out.
And remind her that I do not have dementia, but I can walk in the kitchen.
That's
and
it.
I don't even remember what I was in there for.
Oh, we do that all the time. We redirect her all the time because that's good for her. And then we do it with a little dance or twist because she's a little sassy. She like to shake her hips. That's right, because she's gonna watch this. I'm gonna say,
you're
hey,
a little version of her. I know it. You just a little version, and then your daughter. That's the next generation.
She meant younger version. Younger version.
She's the little version, little grandma.
She is. Yeah. She is an old soul.
Firecracker, huh?
Now I cracked open the book too, and you have a running theme, and I wanted us to just practice real quick based on your running theme. It's just the check-in pages that you have.
Oh yeah.
So you have 3 questions on your check-in page, and I want to challenge you today.
I'm
gonna ask you the check-ins. You give your honest answers. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want people to get an idea of how these might be answered in their self-reflection. Okay. So your first check-in is one thing I want to remember about today.
One thing I want to remember about today is that today stays in today. I know that sounded really weird, but for me, it's because there was a lot going on at that rehab center, and I was a little bothered by a certain treatment that my grandmother was receiving. Sure. But I also have to know that I have to let it go. So I'm not going to bring today on until tomorrow. So today is going to remain right here and today.
Good.
That is a big thing to be present in your moment.
Absolutely.
Because what you dealt with a few hours ago, that was a few hours ago.
That's it.
That was another day to God. That was at least 300 years for him. If a whole day is 1,000 years, that was 300. So
I like the way you answered that, because I think I interpreted it a little differently when I said, what's one thing I want to remember about today? And my first thought was, girl, I don't even remember what happened yesterday. That's what I said to myself. But I like the way you answered that, so it may not be like this memory of today, but it can be what do I take from today that I could possibly take into tomorrow. That just for today, you can take that into any day.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think you already answered the second question. Today I felt
happy, sad, and magenta.
Color. Oh, that's colorful too now.
She is.
Maybe put my red glasses on.
Now I'm thinking, like, what color do I? You know what? I felt gray today, but not that kind of gray.
A lighter gray?
Well, a mixture, because I wear the colors that I feel. So I have on gray, like my pants are gray. So I wear like I had the choice between a pair of gray and a pair of black pants because they're the same style pants. But when you mentioned that, I said, you know what, my clothes tend to go with how I feel.
Right.
Me too.
If I'm feeling a certain color, I'm gonna wear it.
That's it.
And gray is a good color.
I have on my
It's not a bad color.
shirt today.
I like it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But this is for the workshop, but this is my shirt for the day.
Oh, I love that.
I have on red. God is dope.
That's it.
With my red sneakers on.
Come on now. That's cute.
That is.
Thank you.
Okay, last reflection question. Today I am grateful for.
I am grateful for being in my right mind.
Amen.
Amen. Right. It's so important that you said that. And I say it's important that you said that because as of yesterday, I had a client who has a son who lives with her. He's 28 years old. And I was at her house and he was just talking. And he's gone through some traumatic experiences, but has chosen to live in another world, if you will. And what it seems is if he's talking and making up things to say in order to keep from allowing thoughts into his
To get in
head.
his, yep.
And I mean, just random things, just walking. And then he asks you a question so you can fill some of the space by answering his questions and things of that nature. And so it was a challenge working with her because she's there, he's there.
Yeah.
Just cluttering up her mind.
My goodness.
So that's a great one right there. That was very important.
Oh yeah.
Right mind.
Oh, most definitely. When you're seeing different populations, again, of dementia, we're dealing with in my family right now, some schizophrenia and things of that nature. You look and you're like, wow, it's amazing, especially with dementia and Alzheimer's, when you're actually seeing someone that is, they're scared, and that's what I said to that fear. I feel terrible for that because you can't help it.
Right.
You pray that it slows down, but you just can't help it. So I definitely, I just thank God. I was explaining that to my cousin the other day. We don't need to complain. When we wake up, if you have an ache or a pain, okay, that's one thing, but when you wake up and don't know where you are and you're scared because you're waking up and forgetting that you're not at home in your comfort space, in your safe space. That is the most, I couldn't even imagine how scary that is. And
not knowing the faces that should be familiar to you.
Absolutely. I mean, you're used to calling out to your daughter or your loved one and they're not there. It's just you by yourself. So that's a big one for me. That's a big one for me.
We'll definitely be praying for, what's her name?
I call her Mima. She's everybody's Mima. Everybody
Mima.
But her name is Nettie Hall. So yes,
Nettie
I thank
Hall.
you. I thank you all for that.
Yeah, and that even in her dementia, that God, she still finds God and memories of God just comforting her.
She sure does, because we were singing some
gospel
songs
music
today.
On. Yeah, you turn that gospel music on. So we got to get ready to wrap up.
Okay.
And so I wanted to make sure that we ask this question. I'm gonna make it into kind of a two-part question. In reference to self-care and self-love, like where are we in society with it? Like, from your opinion, like where are we? And don't answer that one yet.
Okay.
Because I want to hear you say, where are we and where would you like to see us?
I will say we are, and that's why, I don't know if you noticed, but on the back I said this is not a trend. I cannot stand that. I cannot stand it. It's just like when somebody takes, being a Christian, now they want to make it trendy. We are who we are.
It's a way of life.
Right. It's a way of life. Having your self-love journey and pairing it with your self-care is a journey. It is not a trend. This is not supposed to end, people. I say that all the time. It's not. It's wonderful now, for example, that, okay, we have mental health awareness in May, but I always say it goes beyond May, right? Because the next person, everybody's going to be excited about, take care of yourself and love yourself right here in May. I'm seeing it right now. Everybody has products out. Oh, self-love. It's okay to not be okay. But then when June comes, and that individual who is still battling depression, still battling anxiety, still not loving themselves enough, still have low self-esteem, what then? And so that's why this is very important to me. I take this seriously because it is serious. You have mothers right now that are so stressed, so overwhelmed, and they're killing their kids. You have people right now in general who don't know, because they don't have that self-love. They're just going around doing whatever they want to do to whoever to cause them hurt, because hurt people hurt people. I'm saying that this is a state of emergency. We need to do better. We need to have more things. We need to show much more love and support to those who cannot and do not know how to start their own self-love journey or self-care journey, because people also confuse the two. Self-love, and I'll state this again, self-love is, of course, when you're loving yourself, but self-care are the acts. Those are the things that you're doing to make sure that you're loving yourself enough. It's not to be compared with selfishness. Selfishness is a lack of consideration for other people. You're not selfish by practicing self-love. You're doing what you need to do because you need to be healthy for yourself so that you can be healthy for others. The state that we're in right now, I had one person that came up to me the other day and she was wearing a shirt that said it's okay not to be okay. And I told her, I said, well, that's a lovely shirt. I love your shirt. She actually needed that. And I looked in her eyes and I said, are you okay? She was helping my grandmother and she just looked at me. I said, hold on. I took her in the hall. I prayed over her. I said, I pray that God delivers you from whatever it is that you're going through. And she came back and said, you know what? I had just prayed before. I was crying that I needed a hug. I needed somebody to hug me and tell me it's okay. She was depressed. I have her information. I have her number. And I said, listen, you need anything, you need to call. Yeah. I'm here. Don't know you from a can of paper, but God called me to you. This is not me doing this. This is God calling me to do this.
How do you feel about that, being able to be there for her in that manner? How did that make you feel?
You know what? When she came back and knocked on the door, and shout out to Miss H, I'm gonna keep her identity. And she knocked on my grandmother's hospital door because she said, listen, I just want to thank you. It gave me chills. My mom happened to be in the room. My family, my aunt had happened to come, my cousins, and they were like, what's she thanking you for? And it wasn't a dry eye when I told them what happened. We don't know who's going through something. You don't know. People, and when you mentioned businesses and stuff earlier, and we, especially women, we just doing this and this and that. That's the thing, right? We're always going. Sometimes we don't, when we sit still, for a lot of people, that's when it sets in. I'm alone. That's when it sets in. I'm depressed. That's when it sets in. I have anxiety. Yeah. We have a duty. This is my ministry. And it's only because, I love being able to be motivating to someone else. I love to be able to encourage someone else somebody had told me last year, I saved their life. They called me at 3:00 in the morning. I was half asleep, y'all. I was like, hello, who, what? And he said, if you would have called me the next day, because I had been checking on him, he said, I wouldn't have been here. Mm. I need people to understand it's okay to be kind. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay because, see, I was in a healthy mindset. If I wasn't in a healthy mindset, how can I help that sister that happened last week? How can I help the individual that I just so happened to answer the phone? I was in a healthier state of mind for those people. That's why this is important. We have to be able to lend more olive branches to others. We can't just think that, and that's not being selfish. Mm-hmm. It's not. So I take it seriously now. I do.
And I'd like to add to that where love, I don't think people, the very first thing is I don't think people really understand what love is.
They don't.
There's so many different aspects or definitions of love, human definitions of what love is. But it's a choice.
It's a choice.
But if they pick up this book, they're gonna learn what love is on Amazon.com.
And I don't want people to think I'm crying because I'm crying because these are tears of joy, because I cannot believe that God has placed me in this position. He gave this to me back in 2011?
Yeah.
You see, it's 2024 because I was still not ready. I had to get ready. I wasn't ready.
I had to get ready. Look, you get ready and you stay ready. And I think today you showed us that you ready and you stayed ready.
Thank you.
We're gonna pull up your website and you can tell us where to find the book, and you can also tell us your next plans. I'm gonna show your flyer for your upcoming event.
Oh, thank you.
And so yes, make sure I have this book with me when I see you. I want you to sign my book.
Oh yeah, and that's something that's gonna happen. I should have placed this on the information. So yes, coming up Saturday, July 27th from 10 a.m. to noon is the Always Light Experience. It's going to be held at the Holiday Inn Express, right off the 20 in McDonough, Georgia. It's a free event, but the space is extremely limited. So if you go to Eventbrite, and I'm going to update that, eventbrite.com, you can go ahead and register. For those of you who know me personally, go ahead and you can just say, well, look, Nikki, can you put me down for 2? I'm okay, because people have already been doing that. And so while I am there, I will, if you have your books, I will be more than happy to sign your books. We're going to have music, of course, by the 3-time award-nominated DJ Preach, your pastor's favorite DJ, and then also refreshments and some positive takeaways, because that's really what it's about. I'm trying to keep this free, so you know, I do take donations and everything like that. But yes, that's the first one. I've already been asked to try to do this monthly, which is a blessing. So yeah, I am excited, and of course. Awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited. And of course, you can always catch me just spewing away with DJ Preach again on Thursday nights on YouTube, the live show TV, and that is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Please remember to also purchase this book if you can, because this is going towards any live experiences or any other workshops that I will have, positive workshops, because again, I'm going to have different activities and things of that nature, and I really want to keep this free. So this is the way of being able to do so. Okay.
If they can't make the workshop,
on Amazon.com.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was getting to that question.
Yes.
So can you say it again? Because I cut in.
So the book is available on Amazon.com. I'm trying to also make it on the Always Live or in liveshow.com websites as well. But right now, Amazon.com.
On your website, do you have a way for people to reach you?
Yes, you can go to the contact page and be more than happy to just drop me a line, and I will get back to you within 24 hours usually.
Okay, so on the website, it's Reach Live.
Correct.
Give you access to get in touch.
Yes,
absolutely.
I like that.
Resources for the journey. You know, in addition to the book, we also add towards the end of our segments, we also give additional resources. So
I love it.
This is for either of you guys. Do you have any thoughtful resources that people may be able to use and access?
Golly, you know what? I had just seen Five Below has a really good book. I am so sorry because I meant to bring it. They have some actual self-love. It's a self-love book at Five Below for kids. Oh. And I thought it was really cool. Yes. I'm trying to remember if I can get that to you. Is there any way you can maybe, I don't know, say it for next time for your next show, ladies, or? Okay.
Yeah, or
I
like
apologize.
when we're on the chat, you can put it in the chat.
Okay.
For the people. Yeah. So
wonderful.
We can put it in the description as well, when we post it. So
okay, that'll be great, because I was really surprised to see that, and I did get it because it was just phenomenal. And I thought, wow, Five Below out of all. But see, I'm like, there we go with that trendy, you know what I'm saying? So why is made, if they're gonna put it out there. So there you go.
Yep. That's awesome. No, I can't think of anything right off. If I do, I'll do the same thing, put it in the chat or in the description box or something like that. But because this is really good right now, I keep wanting to say, no, that Nikki Richards book, and I want to refer them back to you again. That's all I got in my head now. So
thank you.
I have this is good. I can actually use this for my coaching practice as well.
Oh, I appreciate that. Let me know if you need anything. I'm here. I'm absolutely here, because this is something near and dear to me.
Yeah, and I also found it helpful to use in my sessions with my clients as well. So
thank you.
Yeah, always encouraging them. And then in addition to that, there is a video that came up on my YouTube called "Do You Love You" by Robert Madu on Social Dallas. So it's a sermon under Social Dallas. So Robert Madu, I think he's pretty popular. I've never listened to him before this video. I did listen in, but he talks completely about self-care, and he talks from it from a biblical perspective too.
I love it.
So we'll share that.
I love that. Yeah, we didn't get into that, but trust me, I have some scriptures and everything.
We'll share that link. We'll share that link to that in the chat. So
we'll have to find a video, because Dr. Anita Phillips is good for that too. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dr.
I've heard of Dr. Anita Phillips.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And can I just say thank you both so much for having me on today. This has just been, I am like, so I needed this release, and that's part of my self-care too.
Yeah.
I needed this. Your smiles, your just, oh my gosh, your demeanor and what you're doing on this platform is so important and necessary for so many of us. So thank you so much. I salute you both. Thank you.
And we're going to return that. We're going to reciprocate
Yes,
that and
ma'am.
tell us how much we value you and appreciate you. And thank
Yes.
you. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
willingness and your open heart
And the sunshine.
and the sunshine and your obedience to God, you know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
listening, because this is needed. As you see, you know, what God put in you in 2011 is the birthing process. Took a little while.
It's
But it's here.
That's
It's here
right.
now. Your baby's here.
Yes.
Now you just got to nurture it and grow it. And you know, we're excited to see what the future is going to hold. You mentioned a lot of upcoming things, so we're excited about
I am too. I hope
Yes.
you all can try to make it to the July 27th. Let me know, please.
Yes,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
will. We will. We
And keep
have it
us-
on our calendar so far, but we'll keep you for sure. And
Thank you.
if I have to squeeze in there as number 18, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna squeeze in there as number 18. So
Yeah,
we will
and
let
make sure
know
you
too.
keep us posted on future events because we will
Oh,
share.
definitely.
on
No,
our page
definitely.
and
Thank you
everything
for
as
that.
well. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes,
Mhm.
congratulations to
Oh,
you.
thank you. Oh my goodness. This is so, when you're a consultant, when you've been a publicist for like so long, I'm always behind the scenes. And I was always telling that to everybody else. I'm pushing everybody else forward. And so this
Yeah.
is really, I'm still kind of getting used to it, ladies.
And
So
now God is pushing you. He's pushing you now. You go, but you're strong. I'm telling you, your presence is strong. Your confidence is
Oh,
strong.
goodness, thank
You know, if you're going through anything, you don't look like what you're going through. And we thank you for that.
That's a word. I needed that.
That
I
self-love
needed it.
is resonating. So thank you so much for being
Thank you.
obedient and being here today. And you know, like Pastor T over there, or Tangela, since we're being formal today.
Right, Pastor
But
T.
you know, like she said, we'll have a chat, and hopefully you can join us in the chat so we can talk to those that are, you know, might have questions and might have
Absolutely.
statements that they want to share or things like that. And we, you know, have
Absolutely. I will
fun.
be front and center. Absolutely.
And we have fun on
Amazing.
those because usually we used to have the where everybody was on the Zoom with us, and then people
Yeah.
would be asking a question for 10 minutes. So what we do now is to cut back on losing that time, go on the chat and have fun chatting.
That's
with
good.
them. Just
But that's really
pre-record
good
it.
because if someone catches it late too, you know, you can always get the
Always go
notification.
back.
That's awesome. I love that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we get ready to wrap up, if you guys want any more information on Life on Purpose LLC, you can go to irepresentlife.com. We also have all of our workshops, video links on there. So we've done various topics from wellness, wholeness, grief, anger management. That was an interesting one. The
Ooh.
4 F's: failure, fear, forgiveness, and faith. We did women's issues. So, and then last month, or was it the month before, we did children's mental health. So
Oh, yeah,
this is
last month.
exciting for
I think
us.
I caught that one too.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
So
good.
we say
Awesome.
happy Mental Health Awareness Month to everybody.
Keep smiling. Keep smiling.
Keep
Make sure you get the
smiling.
support that you need if you
Knowing
need it.
you can always count
Okay,
on
okay.
us.
Or refer. We had a lot of fun today too. We had a lot of fun. Thank you
Yeah.
again, Nikki Richards,
Thank you.
aka Sunshine,
Hey.
aka, did you say Sweetness?
Hey,
AKA
aka Nikki B will just do.
There we go.
And you got to bring the fan next time. Do not leave.
Bro, you know,
the
I left
fan
my
out.
fan and you know I'm hot.
There we
Got the
go.
book. We got the book.
We do this right
Yeah.
here. We do this
Woo.
right here.
Woo.
And thank you everybody for joining us. That ends our workshop.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Stay blessed.
See you in the chat.
Okay.